Ba-ba-ba. Good morning, everyone, or whoever's here, which is nobody at this point. I am your Heavenly Father, and this is just a chat. I'm just having my coffee. So come on in, talk in the chat room. No big whoop. Let me know what's going on. If you're watching this, the best place to watch it is youtube.com/KevinlyFather because YouTube has the fastest chat reaction. But wherever you're chatting, great. Just giving this a shot since I'm going to be at my computer in the mornings anyway. And I have no idea if we're even streaming or not right now. We can check that out. Let's see here. So youtube.com/KevinlyFather is the best place to watch. And here, let's see. It says live now, so right at the very top there, that's what you would click on. Good morning, Dr. Howard. How are you? So youtube.com/KevinlyFather, you would click on that. youtube.com/KevinlyFather, you would hit mute. Well, you wouldn't hit mute. Hey, Lynn. And there we can see ourselves. So welcome, everyone. What's going on? It's Sunday. We've fallen into the infinite loop. What's going on in your world? I just woke up. I fed Kevinly Kitty. And now we're just going to take a look around the internets and see what's going on today. Big day in the world of normal. Hockey started yesterday. So that was fun. My team happened to get spanked. We'll be talking a little bit about hockey and sports. So if you're not into spoilers, get out of here now. Dr. Howard, yeah, how's Florida doing? You know, honestly, and this is a terrible thing to say, but I don't like hurricane coverage. It's a lot of waiting. Whoa, we might get to Category 2. We might get to Category... Hi, Joanna. Good to see producer Joanna in here this morning. It's early for her. It's 7:25 on the West Coast. 10:25 out on the East. August 14th in Australia. Button needs her nails trimmed again. Everybody needs their nails trimmed. Kevinly Kitty needs her nails trimmed as well. YouTube's not bad. We can see we have just a little. You guys can actually see the delay on YouTube. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. 3-second delay on YouTube. Okay, YouTube is the place to chat. Let's go over to the Twitters here. So, good morning, Cam. Good to see you. What's going on in everybody's world? We're doing good in the Tampa Bay area, at least the west side of Florida. Yeah, Tampa Bay always gets it better. There was a hurricane a couple of years ago where Tampa Bay got kind of hammered. But the storm surges sort of never materialize. What is going on with that side? I'm still using my new setup, or at least my old setup, without everything that I'm used to having. So we're going to shrink this a little bit. Different monitors, etc. Oh, we can just move that right up there. There we go. See? Doesn't that feel better? Irma, that's what it was. Good job remembering what affected you. I'm so terrible with names. How are you, Cam? Good to see you. Let's see what Mr. Trumpy... We're not going to get too political with this. First, actually, you know what we're going to do first? We're going to go check out the NHL. See what time the games are today that I can watch. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the thing, and this is what I was saying before the whole season began. It's not a season. None of these players have taken 4 months off in their life before. Since starting playing hockey, you get on the ice, and then come May, June... especially since they became probably 12 or 13 years old, you're back on the ice. You take July, August off. You probably go to hockey camp during that time anyway. Most of these pros will have done that. And then September, late August, you're back on the ice. You might take 2 months off. You probably didn't. A lot of the European players, they play soccer during that time. Of course, they call it soccer. But no one has taken this amount of time off. So all bets are off for this first round. What the NHL is doing is they took the top 4 teams when things ended. I actually went to the last NHL game. It was in Los Angeles against the Senators. And I was telling everybody, we had a little box suite thing because of my friend's work tickets. And I was telling everybody in the box, it's like, this is it, guys. They're shutting things down. It was the same night that the NBA got canceled. The same night that Trump gave his speech and said that even freight from Europe is going to be canceled, but for some reason England would be allowed to come through. None of which was true. Anyway, I said, this is it. We're done with I think the Islanders won yesterday, but we'll find out. We're done with hockey for a while. This is the last game. Maybe for the season, it might be done. I was telling everybody, and they're like, "Oh, come on," And people are trying to high five and stuff, and I was just like from a distance, like, "Okay, yeah, good job, everybody." And people are still doing the elbow bump thing, and I'm like, "It's not." Yes, hands are bad, but we're breathing on each other. If it's a respiratory illness, we're getting each other sick. Hey, Stephanie. How long have we been on? 5 minutes. You haven't missed anything. We're just doing coughily talk. No big whoop. So yesterday, let's check on the Islanders. They won. The Islanders won yesterday, and I got to sign in here. Okay. Well, see. I don't have an active NHL TV subscription. Okay, this is bullshit. Okay. I signed up to watch all the NHL games earlier this year. You pay, I don't know, $90, $100, whatever it was. I paid. Then the season came to an abrupt end before I got my money's worth. And I get it, COVID. I wasn't asking for my money back. Now that the season is kind of back, they're telling me that I don't have access to the stuff that I already paid for that I never got. Anyway. So it looks like they won 2-1 yesterday, and now it's telling me I don't have an active subscription. So, fuck you, NHL. Get out of there. So if anyone's from the NHL is watching, can we please, if people paid, even if they even played for a single team access or whatever, for the love of God, we only got, how many games did we get? Let's take a look. Let's go to the stats here. See how many games I actually got. Stats. So that's just the first game of the playoffs. And we'll go to 19. Okay, so here, regular season. How many games did we get in the regular season? Get stats, go. Give me, come on, just tell me how many games. All right, assists. Okay, just give me the, okay, well, let's just click on Leon Draisaitl here. He's an Oiler. He played 71 games. There's supposed to be 82 games. So we got ripped off. Not a ton. But, we lost 10% of the season. Nobody said, here's your money, here's 10% of your money back. I'm fine. I'm just happy they're playing again. But don't make me pay again for games that are trying to make, for 5 games that are trying to make up the 11 games that got canceled. I'm happy. I'm so happy you're back. But just open it up. Hey, everybody, we understand COVID. You're at home. You're going nuts. Here's some hockey for you. Here's a whole new generation of potentially untapped fans that have never spent any time watching hockey before. And now they're just like, there's nothing new on TV. Oh my God, here's some sports. I'll watch this. I watched a soccer game. Okay, not the whole soccer game, but I watched quite a bit of a soccer game the other day. Good morning, Jana. We might do this every day. We'll see what happens. This is my first cup of coffee. I've got a decaf cup waiting for me. So I might leave in a second to go get that because I don't have a lot left here. I have a Hulu subscription, but it's not... I can watch all of this on... I record it all with my Yahoo TV. But the fact is, I just want to watch the highlights. And so maybe I'm going about it the wrong way, but it's telling me, the guy who paid for NHL TV, that I don't have NHL TV. Anyway, let's go. I wanted to look at the schedule for today, so I know when things are happening. Okay, that's the Edmonton schedule. Let's get out of there. Okay, this is at Edmonton. Get out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Edmonton fan, but I want to see what's going on with the... Here we go, scores. Excuse me. Saturday, August 1st, that was yesterday. So, Hurricanes took the Rangers. That's an upset. Like I said, with 4 months off, anything can happen here. It's a 5-game series. Basically, 4 teams from each division, they have byes. They're playing each other in sort of a round robin just for seeding. Then they took the 8 teams that were close to the playoffs or in the playoffs, some of whom were already mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, basically. That's not the right way to say that. But you understand, like the Canadiens, Chicago had no business being anywhere near the playoffs, and they get to play a 5-game series in order to qualify for the playoffs. So they're calling this the Stanley Cup qualifiers. And yesterday, the Hurricanes beat the Rangers. They shouldn't have. The Canadiens beat the Penguins. The Canadiens have no business being anywhere near the Stanley Cup, but they're up 1-0 in the series. Yes, it's on NBC as well. We've got it. I've got NBC. That's through Yahoo TV. So Yahoo TV is doing a great job of taping every game for me. What we haven't figured out yet is if it's going to continue taping through overtime. But one thing that Yahoo's doing, and I want to show you guys this. This is kind of cool. This is apropos of nothing, but this is what Coffee Talk is going to be. Let's go to. See, I could go. Let's go watch the White House press secretary. You know what? No, we're not going to do that. By the way, so much Trump in the last couple of days, and he said so much idiocy. So let's go to, this is Fox News Sunday, but that's from July 19th, so that's useless. Let's go to, well, let's start playing it so that you...
Over the years, from decades of attacks in New York Capitol.
We still have not finished the rest of the Chris Wallace interview, which now seems like 18 years ago because of Trump time. Hold on, let's go to the Yahoo TV. Okay, kitty porn, kitty porn, kitty porn. There we go. Yahoo TV. Okay. It's not Yahoo TV. I always call it Yahoo. It's YouTube TV. Not Yahoo TV. No, we're not doing Billy Joel. We're not doing Billy Joel madness right now. Yes, it's YouTube TV. Let's see what's going on right now. Okay, this is something cool. Let's go back and we're actually gonna. We can't watch much of it because it's NHL and NFL, and they'll ding me on YouTube if I play too much of it. But I just want to show you guys this. This is kind of cool. So here's Florida Panthers versus New York Islanders, and Dr. Howard's a big Islanders fan. So let's do this. And all right, it's not going to do it on the computer. On the TV, which I have attached to the Roku, it lets you catch up to live. You can either watch the whole game using just the highlights, or it lets you catch up to live using the highlights. And maybe there's a way to do it on here. There isn't. So, for example, if you tune in the third period, it gives you the option, do you want to watch this live, or do you want to watch the highlights to catch up to live? And then if you say, I want to watch the highlights, then it'll say, this is highlight number 1 of 13 or 1 of 16, and then it just shows you highlight after highlight after highlight until you're up in real time. Which is awesome, because if you are a fan of hockey or any other sport, you know inevitably you've got some douchebag friend out there that's going to be like, yeah, Patrick Kane, what an awesome goal, and ruin it for you in real time because he's texting you and he doesn't understand. What you have to do, people, and this is the law, if Congress was to do anything useful, there should be a law that says you have to ask, are you watching the game? So that the other person can respond, I'm going to watch it later, because this is, I don't know, it's at least 2047. Feels like it. So anyway, I was going to show you guys that, and I can't show it to you. But again, it's Coffee Talk. So this is all... You're right, at random. The highlights are choppy. You're absolutely correct on that. But it is kind of cool. So let's go to the NHL scores from today so I can see what time things get started. I have no choice but to do this in Eastern time, so that's 11 a.m. The Coyotes take the Predators. I'm sorry, but the Coyotes and Predators, like, what? Why? They're actually both good teams this year, but I'm always, when it comes to the Predators, I'm always, why? Why? What are they doing? What do they think they're, what do the people of Nashville think is happening? And this is, of all the NHL teams, I've got my Calgary Flames that I hate because they're my natural rival, being from Edmonton. Montreal, I hate because they were the natural rival with Toronto. My dad was a Toronto fan. Back in the day when there was just 2 Canadian teams, Toronto and Montreal. My dad loved Toronto and hated Montreal. It's like if you live in New York, you might like the Yankees and you might hate the Mets. Or reverse, you might hate the Yankees and be a loser. That's just the way that New York works. Same thing in Chicago. So you guys understand natural rivalries. Florida, Florida State, Miami, something. I have no idea. Coyotes can't skate. That's exactly right. That's from our resident fact checker, David. So that's absolutely true. Is my coffee cup a cow? No. It's just a design, and I'm about to go get my decaf because I'm almost out of the regular coffee. You're a Mets fan? You know what? This is a time. This is exactly what this is designed for. Coffee Talk is just get out there and admit your flaws. This is a safe space. Everybody can be a Mets fan here. David, are the baseball players, is this even going to continue? Because it seems absurd not for them to be in a bubble. Baseball is designed with a pre-built bubble. You've got the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League in Arizona and Florida, respectively. They do this every year for spring training. They've got small stadiums that they don't have to sell out. They stay at hotels. They're in a bubble. Oh, I might take a hike. I got a lot of things to do today. We're still unpacking and moving and stuff like that. We're down here in the UCLA USC is another example of a rivalry. Thank you, Joanna, for those of you who live in SoCal. So David with Snubs points out that Bobby Bonilla, who played in the Major League Baseball 60 years ago, at one point he signed a contract that was going to pay him $1 million point whatever, basically in perpetuity until the year 2032, something ridiculous like that. So even though baseball hasn't played a game, well, they've played a couple of games now, he's making more money than X percentage of the baseball peoples. So let's see. We'll check out Bobby Bonilla in a second here. I'm going to get more coffee going on here, my decaf. So the Coyotes take on the Predators. Nobody cares. I call that a plane crash series. That's a terrible thing to say with so many people dying, but if a plane crashes and nobody has to deal with that, that's fine. Now we're in the bubble. We can't have a plane crash, so it's okay for me to say that. I'm not being insensitive. First off, Dr. Howard, the Zamboni will never get a jersey because we call them hockey sweaters, not jerseys. The Flyers take on the Bruins, and those are two of the teams that have buys. So they finished top 4 in the regular season. So those games are pretty much meaningless. They're basically exhibition at this point. Are they meaningless? No, because they're going to help determine seeding and whom you play. But again, as I've said, with 4 months off, all of these teams are rusty. The different players have had different workout routines. Some guys have shooting ranges in their houses. Some guys don't. Some guys have weights in their house. Some guys haven't been able to go to the gym. So all bets are off. Blues Avalanche, that is actually going to be an interesting series, but it's not a series. That's just part of the round robin. Blue Jackets, Maple Leafs. Okay, so that's going to have some interest, obviously, because of the Maple Leafs. They haven't won the Cup since 1967. Huge payroll, huge disappointment this year. They haven't lived up to their potential, so we'll see if they can pull that together. And then the Wild and Canucks. I'm rooting for the Canucks on this one just because they're a Canadian team. Vancouver versus Minnesota Wild. I like the Wild only because they're a replacement team for the Minnesota North Stars that were stolen and taken away to Dallas. And the people of Minnesota, quite frankly, you guys deserve a hockey team. You really do. So you got the Wild. I'm not wild about them, but good on ya. Did a Zamboni driver play? I didn't even hear about that, Dr. Howard. But yeah, good. Let's take a look at Bobby Bonilla, and then I'm going to go get my decaf. What's going on in everybody's life? Okay, so Jana's watching Upside Down Magic on Disney Channel, so that's nice. How old's your son, Jana? Let's see. Bobby Bonilla contract. This will tell us what's going on. Okay. Every July the 1st, the Mets pay Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million, basically, every July the 1st. And it is Bobby Bonilla Day on July the 1st. And every July the 1st, David with Snopes lets me know that. Here we go. CNN Sports, that's 2019. Okay, so the New York Mets, desperately trying to return to the postseason of Major League Baseball, whipped out their checkbooks and acquired 3 veteran free agents in the last 24 hours. However, the 7th highest paid position on their payroll this year, Bobby Bonilla, making $1.1 million. And every July 1st since 2011, they have written a check for $1.19 million to Bobby Bonilla. He signed a 5-year, $29 million contract in 1991, and it pays him through 2035. So well done, Bobby Bonilla. I have no issue with that at all. 7's awesome, Jana. They get to about 9, and then they realize that they know more than you do. So then it's not as fun anymore, but 7 is awesome. Is he still scared of thunder in the dark sometimes? I kind of like that stage because you still know everything. Then they start to question you, and the logic steps in, hopefully. And if the logic never steps in, they end up voting Republican. So, either way. You just let Rich know that you're on. Why are we being forced to do the Billy Joel Madness? Is that what we're trying to do here, people? I'm going to go get a decaf. I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Good. Chats are silent. No. Have you guys been talking amongst yourselves as prescribed? Okay, so what else is going on? Let's go check out what's going on the Twitters this morning. We could check out some of the Sunday morning shows because it is Sunday morning, and those are fun to watch. Let's go check out the insanity going on. First, we'll see what Trump is tweeting this morning. Okay. When you see the drug companies taking massive television ads against me, forget what they say, which is false. You know that drug prices are coming down big. Favored nation clause means USA will pay the lowest price of any nation in the world. Never done before. Watch. All of that is nonsense. He can't do that with an executive order. Drug prices have come down 1%. But that's only because, and that was 2018. 2019, they went back up again. 2018, they came down a whopping 1%. And that's only because they count, it's the CPI, the Consumer Prices Index, which also includes rebates given back to pharmacies. So same thing happens called holdbacks. When you buy a car, they say, oh, here's the MSRP and we're not making any money, and you're ripping us off here, and how can you take this Toyota Tercel? And then Toyota writes them a big check for getting rid of it. It's called the holdback. So they're not losing any money on that. And the drug companies do the same thing. So the CPI actually includes that for some reason. It's called the Consumer Price Index. It is not. So no, drug prices have not come down. And if there's anybody out there that actually takes a prescription, you know this. The American people are not fooled by this. And of course, Trump is calling it this tremendous health bill. And it's not. By the way, he's been saying he's going to release his health care plan today. I wouldn't hold your breath. because we are out of ventilators. Yeah, everybody's drug prices are the same, and that's the other thing. As Dr. Howard points out, we have copays for the drugs, so it's the insurance companies that pay for the drugs for the most part, unless we don't have insurance, which again is another problem. I don't know if I've ever told you guys my theory on this, but we don't need insurance. We should not have health insurance. It should just be everything's taken care of by the government, which, yes, is a way of insuring us. Yes, it is health insurance. What I'm saying is we should have health care taken care of where none of us ever have to fill out an insurance form. But wouldn't that be awesome? If we never, everybody's had to sit down and tappity tap, tap, tap. What a headache. And we never understand, like, oh, well, this bronze plan compared to this, yeah, and you never know what's going to happen. Well, what if I get cancer? We don't know. No one has any idea. Although if I keep drinking this much creamer, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get, testicle cancer. $100 a pill for your migraine pill? You need better coverage. The irony is, if you're not making any money like I am not right now, that's not a double negative, you're covered. So if you're in the right state. Now, if you're in one of the 19 stupid states where the Republicans reject the money that their own taxpayers have put into the system, you're not covered. Medicare was not. But right now I'm on Medicare because my job's been eliminated. And I'm not making enough to qualify. It's so funny that you have to make less to qualify. You make more than you don't qualify. Anyway, it's a ridiculous system. It should just be go to the hospital, go to the doctor, it's paid for. And the doctors and the government can negotiate how much things cost. And that's naturally, because basically that becomes a free market. If the doctors aren't making enough money, then they don't do it. Now, that being said, that also helps support the rural hospitals because you're able to set the prices in the rural hospitals that are fair to keep the rural hospitals open. Who's having the most problems with the COVID right now? The rural hospitals. In fact, people are being turned away. This whole Trump line about no one's who needs a ventilator is not getting ventilated. You might not even have a hotel bed, a hospital bed in southern Texas. Okay, good. You have California Cares. Is that part of the Medicare program? I don't even know, Stephanie. Okay, so let's see what else Trump has written here. Big China virus breakouts all over the world, including nations which are thought to have done a great job. The fake news doesn't report this. USA will be stronger than ever before and soon. Yeah, some of the countries are having resurgences because that's what happens. Victoria in Australia. Here's the thing. The virus is going to infect people. That's what happens. But we can look. Let's just take a look at Australia because this is about Victoria in Australia. So let's go to the site that they like to use, ourworldindata.org. I just spilled my covfefe. One moment. I got too excited. I just happen to have a washcloth that belongs to Kevinly daughter here. Don't tell her. I'm wiping up my coffee with it. I don't know if she would care or not, quite honestly, but it's best to keep secrets from your children. That's my philosophy. Okay, so our world in data. So we go to health and the COVID, and there's all kinds of wonderful charts that you can use here. So let's just pick one. Okay, so this is daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases, so that's good. We got a bunch. Let's get rid of South Korea, South Africa, Brazil. We're just going to do Australia and the U.S., and we're going to have a comparison here. Indonesia, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand, Norway, New Zealand, South Africa, and I think we've just got the U.S. now. Yeah, there's the U.S. right there. These are the daily new cases. Let's find Australia. I can't do it by searching. Oh, yeah, I can. Well, Australia's there at the beginning anyway, so you know what? We're not going to do it. So there's the two countries. Yeah, Australia's on the way up. Australia's not doing great. But as you can see, the U.S. never really flattened that curve. Let's do this just to be fair. Let's do it by population and per million people. There's a little button on here that lets us do that. Okay. Per million people, United States, Australia. We're still way ahead of them. So, and this is log file. Let me hold on because I'm going to make this into a linear. I shouldn't say file. There. Australia's not even there anymore. Hold on. Let me bring it up. There. That's okay. These are different countries. This is what Trump is bragging about. You can see the little line down here. It's probably too small for you guys. Boop, boop. That's Australia. Way, way up there. That's the United States. So, yeah, same. Exactly. It has nothing to do with Trump being a failed leader. Those are your new cases per million people. That's what Trump is so excited about. That's all he can talk about the last 3 or 4 days. Well, the other countries, they didn't. Okay, he was talking about Germany. Let's find Germany. Give me a second. I'm doing all of this left-handed too. Let's pull in Germany as well. Germany. There we go. And if we pull in Germany, if anybody else wants to see a country, shout it out. We'll bring it up. There's Germany even lower than Australia. You can see the lowest line over here. Boop. That one right there. That is Germany. You guys probably can't read that on your screen unless you're watching on the big screen. I think Jana watches on the big screen. And he's saying that these huge spikes are taking place. Yes, cases are increasing slightly. Let's do this. Let's make it even more apparent for us. We're going to take that all the way up to, where are we? It doesn't say. But this is the last couple. Okay, it doesn't want to adjust for me, so that bar is useless. Let's go over time. And then, there we go. So we've got Australia and Germany on the map. Anybody else want to see that? Can you please look up San Joaquin County? That's in California. Okay, well, that's Stephanie Wonder. We passed 11,000 cases. They took down the hospitalizations for our country on our dashboard. County, not country. Has anyone else noticed that? I don't know, but let's see if I can find any data on that for you. San Joaquin. And there's the California homepage. Here's COVID-19. And the updates, here's the dashboard. So this is going to be your ArcGIS dashboard. Whoa. It makes a sound too. That's kind of cool. Total deaths, total outbreaks. This is by case. Okay, so you guys are you've come down quite a bit. Here's your peak on the 20th. You're actually falling down, so that's good. So that's your Sacramento down to Modesto region, so Stockton down. Hey, Green Room, how are things in Ireland? We're just doing random talk here. We don't have an agenda of any kind, so welcome. I'm not seeing hospitalization, but each one of these ArcGIS boards are set up kind of doing their own thing, so it depends on what the county wanted to do. But we might be able to do hospitalization rate. Hospitalization, administration, about the hospital. Okay, so we're going to have to do that as a broader search. So let's use the Googles. I don't know what that sound is. No idea. So San Joaquin County hospitalization, public, here we go. Public health and COVID-19 information and resources. Click here. There's your dashboard. We've already been there. Be prepared. CDC website. That's not going to help us. California website. So if we go to the California website, they might have something there. This is all guidance. Public health services. I'm not seeing hospitalization. California Department of Public Health. So let's go there and see if we can find hospitalization. COVID-19 by the numbers. That's the spread. Here's hospitalizations. I can't click on that. We might be able to get by that by going to the COVID-19 data site and COVID-19 in hospitals. We might be able to pick by county here. Yeah, we sure can. So where's my San Joaquin? There it is. Okay, and here. So here's your hospitalization data. I think it was Stephanie who asked for that. Yeah, that would make sense because that's Stockton. So here's your positive patients, 203 new positive patients. That's a 14-day rolling average, not a 7-day. That's a little bit different, but okay. And then you can see a little map over here. That's probably Stockton, right? I don't know. I can't see. There's no cities on here. So down to Modesto would be just south of this in San Joaquin. 14, so this is the 1-day average right here. No, it's not. That's an all-time average. ICU available beds. So you've got, that's nice. They're adjusting the number of ICU available beds. So you've got 71, you've got 71 positive patients right now. Well, that makes no sense. Positive patients, ICU. Oh, okay. So you've got your positive patients, 203. Then you've got your positive patients who are actually in the ICU, potentially on ventilators right now, is 71. And available beds, oh, crap. So, my bad. I was looking at, you're doing better. It's on the way down. That's your available beds is on the way down. So you're down to 14 available ICU beds. So what I'm saying is, Steph, don't get sick. Can you give me a shout out? Trix from Trix FM, can I give you a shout out? No. Sorry. Just, we've got an agenda to fill here. Sure, what the hell? Here's a shout out to Trix. Okay. Kevin Lee Kitty's going to come running to the door. So this is the same room that Kevin Lee Kitty has her litter box in. So I put it right outside the door, and I shut the door so that if things are happening in the house. What else is going on? Let's go back to Trump. Let's go watch. I'm almost done with my coffee, so I'm going to get on with my day. It's 8 o'clock. Everybody, get the hell out of bed. Yeah, you've got 14 beds left, Jana. But San Joaquin County is not that big of a county. Although it probably has quite a population. I don't know. What I'm saying is, everybody stay safe. Don't get sick. Here we go. Here's YouTube. Let's go to my library. This is what I call Yahoo TV. It's not. It's YouTube TV. I would recommend it, except they just changed the prices, and sometimes the format's a little bit wonky. Let's go see what's going on with Maria Bartolomonoma.
Easing rest of day.
And happy Friends Day, Pete.
Happy National Friendship Day. Have a great Sunday, everybody. The show is over. Now go to church.
Fuck you! They did this again last week. Read the country. Wow. Go to church. Don't forget. Last week it was don't forget to go to church. This week it's go to church. Don't go to church. Churches are having outbreaks all across the country. I wish there was a database for it. The CDC should really be keeping track of this. Restaurants and churches, don't go. This is why we're having an upswing, people. We knew this from China. We knew this from South Korea. They opened back up and they're like, hey, let's open up the nightclubs. No! Stupid, stupid, stupid. Don't open the churches. And again, this is coming from the son of a preacher man. And by preacher man, I mean my mom was a Lutheran minister. Don't go indoor spaces with a lot of people. The virus does not care what God you're worshiping. It just wants to kill you. It's antithetical to its own existence, but that's its job, right? We all have jobs. And the people on Fox and Friends, their job is to spew the Republican agenda and kill people. David, have lunch outside the church. Oh, wow, that's loud. Hold on.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maria Bartiromo. Straight ahead, right here on Sunday Morning Futures, my exclusive interview with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
So
as
Mike
President
Pompeo
Trump drops the
who
hammer
else?
on TikTok, saying that he will ban the Chinese social.
Yeah, that's going to be boring. Pompeo, is he going to do the whole hour with Pompeo? No, here we go. Here's one of the crazies. Here's Doug Collins. So Pompeo is really a smart individual, but he checks out. Probably about 6 or 7 months ago, he kind of checked out emotionally from being involved in the interviews, and he sort of gets that glazed robotic response to everything, and it's scary. I don't know how you do that, but it just becomes he's just a male version of KK Macaroni. And that's not who you want in charge of the state. But and then again, I think he's kind of resigned to the fact that he's not in charge of state. He's not the Secretary of State. Donald Trump is the Secretary of everything. Here we go. Let's watch a little bit of Collins here.
Toe-to-toe with lawmakers last week in his first appearance before the House Judiciary
Let me know if you guys can hear properly.
Committee. The 5-hour hearing got heated at times and covered everything from Russiagate to the federal response in Portland. Republican Congressman Doug Collins was among those who questioned AG Barr. He joins me now with more. Congressman,
questioned
this
him.
morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Good morning, Mary. It's good to see you as well.
Well, what a hearing. First, what struck you most about hearing from AG Barr this week?
Well, it would have struck me more if my Democratic colleagues would have actually let him speak. What struck me the most...
Holy crap! Did you guys hear that?
A year and a half
Listen to this.
What a hearing. First, what struck you most about hearing from AG Barr this week?
Well, it would have struck me more if my Democratic colleagues would have actually...
He called them Democratic colleagues, not Democrat colleagues. We're making progress, people. I can see this all coming together. We're going to end COVID.
Let him speak. What struck me the most is that after you've waited a year and a half to get the Attorney General in there, all you wanted to do was move political posturing and make statements and then not let him answer. And if he didn't answer the way you wanted him to, I mean, it just showed that the Democrats have no desire at the truth. They went over talking points after talking points of peaceful protesters, which we all know are not.
They asked questions.
Not true in Portland and all of this country.
Hold on.
Political posturing and make statements and then not let him answer. And if he didn't answer the way you wanted him to, I mean, it just showed that the Democrats have no desire at the truth. They went over talking points after talking points of peaceful protesters, which we all know are not true in Portland and all of this country.
There's a lot of protesters that are peaceful. I don't understand not being able to make a clear distinction there. There are protesters, there are rioters, and you know my position on this, guys. I'd like to stop the protesting. It's just cover at this point. You're not doing anything. Nothing is happening because you're out there protesting, except you're rising the potential of spreading a disease. But more importantly, and we've discovered that it's probably not spreading because of the protests. Huge study was done, 315 cities. Doesn't seem to be spreading the disease, which is awesome. Everything outside, be outside. That's good. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say be outside. I didn't say be outside. I did, but what I'm saying is stay away from other people in general. Because there was summer camp, and at summer camp, everybody caught it. And a lot of summer camp is outside. A lot of it's inside, though. Anyway, the protests are just providing cover for the very bad people, the rioters, who just want to cause problems. So just let them go out. Just have a riot. Or, even better, have a protest that goes from like 11 till 1 in the afternoon. Even better, start it at 9 a.m. Have your protest at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And all those rioters are going to be fast asleep and drugged up from the night before. Now, the real diehard anarchists, they'll still get out there. But they'll be easy to find. Just pull out anybody with an umbrella. And all the protesters who have the umbrellas going like, oh yeah, it's protecting me from the tear gas. No, don't use the umbrellas. Wear a bicycle helmet, a hockey helmet. I've got a couple of extra ones. You can have them. But yeah, you're not doing any good at this point. Sorry, but...
Went into issues of wanting to investigate the president on the commutation of the Senate.
Hey, enjoy Mom. Jana, say hi for me.
Members of Congress
come on.
to influence
It just
China
went away.
policy.
Sorry.
What can you tell us?
Well, Maria, I don't want to say.
Joins me now with more. Congressman, good
Yeah, we got that.
True in Portland and all of this country. They went into issues of wanting to investigate the president on the commutation, the Senate's commutation of Roger Stone. And then if they just didn't like it, they just lectured him. And then when he tried to answer...
The Senate didn't commute Roger Stone. It was the president who commuted Roger Stone, but okay.
You know, they just wouldn't let him answer. It showed in a capsule what this Congress has been like under Democratic leadership.
He also refused to answer. Everything was semantics with Barr during the hearing.
Wasted time signifying nothing.
That was almost Shakespearean, but that's a very important... Collins has screwed up Shakespeare several times. Kevin McCarthy does the same thing. I don't know whom they're trying to impress, because when you screw it up...
Actually, we've talked about this before because once the Democrats took over the majority in the House of Representatives at the end of 2018, 2019 was all about investigating Donald Trump. Right? You didn't really have, I mean, where were the hearings on China? We just finished a very important conversation with the Secretary of State and how the Chinese Communist Party has a massive espionage campaign in this country. How much did you cover that in your Judiciary Committee? The espionage campaign in this country.
I let Kevin
How much
Lee
did you
Kitty in.
cover that in your Judiciary Committee the last 2 years, Congressman?
Not a bit. Marion, we've talked about this, and this is the part that just is really disturbing. Chairman Nash.
I don't know if my sync is off or it's the feed or what, but yeah, we'll try and fix that.
Adler, again, who had an opportunity to take this committee and to do good things in a bigger
feed.
scope when we could do
Morning,
investigations,
Chris.
like actually, on China and the espionage and the spying that they've been doing, but also on the theft of intellectual property and the things that we've been working on for a long time. But instead, we chose not to do that. We had well over 100 hours. Think about that, 100 hours of just simply investigating the president's own nonsense hearings at the full committee level. And that's not what, the American people are looking for. And so when you had the Attorney General there, when they could have asked questions just like you just did.
100 hours. Okay. That's Congress's job to oversee the executive branch. That's literally what they're supposed to do. But yeah.
Very well with the Secretary of State. They could have asked.
Oh, and they were successful. He was impeached. The House impeached the president after the investigation. So, yeah, that's, only the third time in history that's happened.
Ask it of the Attorney General. They chose not to. The Democratic Party seems to have a problem admitting that the Communist Chinese are infiltrating our country, trying everything they can to steal our intellectual property and infiltrate our businesses and our politics. They turn a blind eye to it every time because
that's not what the hearing was about.
To get at the president and to make anybody who's associated with him look bad.
Yeah, and we just heard a little of that from the Secretary of State. We're going to zero in more on that. Who specifically in Congress is the CCP trying to influence right now? Because it seems that there's a lot of influencing going on. Let's take a short break, Congressman. I want to get into the Russia probe as well as what's happening in our cities.
Oh, good, the Russia probe.
Doug Collins is
I hope we talk about Benghazi.
We just talked about AG Barr and that hearing this week. I want to talk about what's happening in our cities across the country. The crime rate is up in your neighborhood in Atlanta. Crime rate, shootings up in Chicago, in New York, and of course, then there is Portland with this effort to take down federal buildings. What are you doing about it?
By the way, the federal courthouse in Portland is made of concrete and marble. Nobody's taking it down. You would need a tank. But yeah, shooting a firework, go ahead and just shoot a firework at some concrete. Basically, the ground is concrete. Shoot a firework at the street and see what happens. Nothing.
You and your colleagues.
Well, we're actually trying to bring it to the attention of our Democratic colleagues because they don't believe it actually seems to exist. They keep talking about peaceful protesters. They keep ignoring it. And when you have Democratic mayors of Chicago, Portland, and these others, and even here in Atlanta, who are ignoring crime rates.
He called them Democratic again. I'm coming around to Doug Collins.
The crime rate, the homicide rate in Chicago is up 50%, and they're one of the highest in the nation every year. In Atlanta, the crime rate is up in double digits among murders and aggravated assaults and burglaries. When you see this happening, it gives some implication into something I saw just recently on a.
We need a solution to poverty. You're absolutely right, Doug Collins. I'm sure that they're going to pass the bill right away to make sure that the unemployment is extended, and those who aren't eligible for unemployment because they don't have a regular job, also let's give them some stimulus money because poverty breeds crime. We know this. I'm sure that's what he's about to say.
Study that's coming out that say over 238 police departments who have been polled have seen a decrease recently in their budgets. This defunding the police movement is actually taking hold, and it's actually causing our cities and municipalities to be unsafe. But yet, in that Barr hearing, when everything was brought up, they kept talking.
That's what's happening. Is there's people out there that are normally just peaceful Americans, and then they heard that their police department are going to have their tire budget cut next year. So they're like, you know what? We should murder someone. That's exactly what's happening en masse. Oh, crap. I just changed it again. Well, that's about enough, Doug. Anyway.
Well, if you're out there and you're watching this morning, you don't know what Section 230 is. That is what allows these tech folks to hide behind.
Yeah.
our cities. We are just tearing the country apart.
Tearing the
on
country
top
apart.
of what we're all dealing with COVID.
Is anyone out there having their city torn apart? Is anyone in danger? If you are, hang up and call 911. But which is not going to be there anyway because Biden has defunded the police because he's in charge. So anyway, this is all happening in Trump's America. Right now, Trump is in charge of America. So this is all under Trump. We're going to end the American carnage, and we're going to end it now. This American carnage stops here, and it stops now. And here we are, with the country being torn apart. So I'm worried about all of you guys.
COVID.
Nah, maybe I'll go swimming. So this is the last day that we're watching Safi the Wonder Dog. So this is the last day we have access to the pool. And it's going to be, 97 degrees or something insane here. Why am I back in Southern California? Yeah, Tacoma. But, Tacoma was ripped up into 6 pieces years ago, David. That's nothing new.
I want to ask you about one other threat that we've talked about of what
Hey,
we're
Chrissy.
all dealing with COVID. I want to ask you about one other threat that we've talked a lot about, and that is the tech companies and their dominance. Their hearing last week talking about
Wait a minute. What did she say?
COVID.
But we've got a problem in our cities, and they've got to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's really horrible to look at what has taken place in our cities. We are just tearing the country apart. On top of what we're all dealing with COVID. I want to ask you about one other threat that we've talked about of what we're all dealing with COVID. I want to ask you about one other threat that we've talked.
Okay, I thought she was asking about a threat having to do with COVID. That was just a glitch in their audio. So the same thing happened last week. I don't know why they haven't fixed this. But so Fox Morning, it's not Sunday Morning Futures. That's what the show is called. They're having audio glitches. They had the same thing last week. They're way off. It's not something coming through on my end or your end.
A lot about, and that is the tech companies and their dominance. Their hearing last week talking about Section 230 is something you've spoken about a lot. What is going to be the change in terms of congressional movements against tech on that Section 230 going into the election? Are they going to censor conservative speech going into this presidential election?
Well, they're trying right now. They did me and Jim and Jordan and several others recently. I was off for 36 hours off of Twitter, still with no reason. I think what's interesting is this hearing, it finally happened last week because it was one of the hearings that I actually got started. Me and Chairman Nadler, Cicilline, and Mr. Sensenbrenner, we were the ones that actually instigated. I was the one that actually instigated the hearings because we knew that if you get it antitrust, because of their size, if you look at their market dominance in ads and revenue and content stealing that they've done, that is the hook to get to Section 230. Well, if you're out there and you're watching this morning, you don't know what Section 230 is. That is what allows these tech folks to hide behind them being able to censor conservatives, them being able to take down what they don't want on their sites, and being able to manipulate from a political perspective what's going on.
And the kiddie porn, and the rape porn, and the faces of death. The things that you really don't want to see on a timeline. That's what allows Twitter to get rid of dick pics. But they want it all opened up. As long as it's conservative voices.
No longer these small startup companies that are simply bulletin boards. They're actually publishers, they're content creators, and content stealers, by the way, that we actually need to make sure that they're now playing by the same rule as every other media company and content generator does. And that's where I hope we're having the discussion. We've got to get the Democrats to focus on the fact that we can use antitrust to make sure that this is a fair playing field, because in the influence and the scope that they have is amazing. I've been fighting against this since day one. That's why Paul Gosar and I put out a bill, and others put out a bill on Stop the Censorship Act, which goes directly at 230 and makes the necessary changes in 230 while still preserving First Amendment rights for people to comment.
Well, you don't have a lot of time before the election, that's for sure, to ensure that they play fairly. Congressman, we'll be watching. Thanks for your efforts here. Good to see you this morning, sir.
Marie, it's always good to be with you. Take care.
Congressman Doug Collins. And a very special announcement right now. I am coming out with a new book this October. I hope you will pick it up. Myself.
Oh boy, will we. All right, I think that's enough of coffee talk this morning. Good talking to you all. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So be good today. And here's some closing credits. Let's see if it works.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what?